Hi, everybody. It's Jeff again. Today, I'd like to talk about the politics of political reporting. I've been on Twitter here for a week. Well, I've played around before, but this is the first time that I've actually really been on Twitter. Sorry, X. I'll always call it Twitter. Anyways, and the one thing I've been noticing, is more amplified here, is the political slant people put on report anything that a government does. We'll take it, for example, this deal that the Ontario government signed with Starlink to provide high-speed internet for remote communities, which is a fantastic thing. It makes sense because to put internet in the traditional way along the ground, it was very expensive. You have to lay a lot of cables, or at least have a lot of towers, which are site to site to site to site to site, which gets complex and expensive, and you have to maintain them. Whereas Starlink, they already have the satellites up there, and you just put a little box, and it points to the satellite, and there you go. So, great. Makes sense. Should be cheaper. So some people were saying, hang on a second, raising the question, like, why is it $100 million when you'd be like $8 million of that to buy everyone a Starlink home unit? What's the deal? Where's the difference coming up from? And then we got people coming up and saying, oh, well, it's because of all kinds of things, like they're going to use Starlink to hack, to influence elections, or just like it happened in the States. And I'm scratching my head going, hang on a second. It's an internet connection. It's like saying, Shaw Cable is going to, influence the election because it exists. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, if you're going to hack an election, you're going to break into computers or so forth. But in Canada, we still use paper ballots. And so I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. It's just kind of not really based in anything. And then you have, like, anytime government does something, it's, oh, well, it's obviously large payoffs or so forth. But I'm left here going, okay, are they doing, I would like to know why. Genuinely, I want to know why. I don't want to go, oh, well, it's because, Premier Ford is trying to cozy up to Elon Musk and have him buy the next election for him, or something like that. Do we need to ask questions? Absolutely. But we need to remain grounded. And as you report, how you report them, how you talk about issues, can be used to influence how things go. Meaning you can put a slant on it, and you see that all the time in news stories. It's the word usage. It's not as neutral as it was in times past. It's now always some sort of emotional, some sort of sensationalized high headlines to grab your attention and make you read, which is wrong, because it should be just report the facts. That's it, and let the people make up their own mind. So when it comes to, for example, I'm using this as an example, this $100 million contract for the high-speed internet, I have more questions. For example, is Starlink going to be putting in larger ground base stations so that you can cover from one of these new Starlink down connections to cover an entire community, like wide range broadband, like wide range Wi-Fi, so that the entire community can be covered with one Starlink connection, with one like cell phone tower in the middle of the town. Can cover, everyone can have Wi-Fi either through Wi-Fi on their phone or on the computer, their laptops. Great, simplified, but of course that takes more time and effort to put them in. Equipment is more expensive. Then maybe mix that with their buying these some connections for the various towns, or who knows why. I have more questions, and again, to be clear, to be honest, I haven't read many articles in any in-depth reporting into this, so probably that's on my part. But it's more of the how we talk about it and how we jump to conclusions based on our own political slant. Like, if you don't like Doug Ford, then obviously this is a giant waste of time and a waste of money and and a large boondoggle. But if you do like Doug Ford, then obviously it's a great, fantastic thing, and nobody should criticize it. And here's me saying, ask questions, double check, remain neutral. Don't make up your mind as you're looking into a story or an action of what a government or a political person does. Ask questions. Be neutral. Don't get caught up in the personality of a person, because that's how you get charmed by a political candidate and kind of turn a blind eye to what they're doing wrong. You need to remain neutral, remain balanced, and just ask the questions. And so I still have more questions on this, which I'll be looking into myself, because even though I'm in Alberta, it doesn't affect me. I'm curious to know what the extra cost was for. I mean, government contracts are always more expensive because they're kind of expected to be, but then again, governments tend to be more difficult clients, particularly in situations like this. They want and demand more, and there's a longer list of expectations which cost money. So maybe that's some of it, but certainly not to this degree. So there's something else in this contract, or maybe it includes the fact that the government is going to be paying for service for the next 50 years. I don't know. So that's why I keep saying, be neutral, ask questions, don't get caught up in emotions when you're looking into anything that a government or a political person does, and then you won't get tied up into that, again, confirmation bias. You say, well, obviously Doug Ford is corrupt, so obviously this is a corrupt deal, and gosh, I don't like Doug Ford, and certainly don't like Elon Musk for whatever reason, and so obviously it's bad and it's horrible. But if you like him, one or both of them, then, oh, well, obviously it's a fantastic deal because they're both great guys. Don't assume either. Be neutral. Just look at the facts and ask questions. Double check. And that's how you try to get the politics out of reporting on politics.